Story 1. The Whispering Woods. It was late October when Marla set out alone into the Appalachian forest. She was an experienced hiker, drawn to solitude and the crunch of leaves underfoot. But this trail was different. Older, less marked. Locals called it the Hollow Path and warned of strange echoes. By the second day, Marla began hearing whispers. At first she thought it was wind. Then she realized the whispers were repeating her own words, seconds after she spoke them. "Just a few more miles," she said aloud. The forest replied, "Just a few more miles." She followed the sound to a moss-covered hatch buried beneath roots. Inside was a bunker, cold, metallic, and lined with shelves of cassette tapes. Each tape was labeled with her name and a date. The earliest was from 1963, 20 years before she was born. She played one. Static. Then her voice. "I'm scared. I think something's watching me." She hadn't said that yet. The final tape was dated tomorrow. It ended with her screaming. Story 2. The Mirror in Room 6. Darren was driving cross-country when his car broke down near a forgotten stretch of Tennessee highway. The only motel nearby was a crumbling relic called the Pines. He checked into Room 6, a dusty space with peeling wallpaper and a massive antique mirror. That night, Darren noticed something strange. In the mirror, a man stood behind him, pale, motionless, eyes wide. But when he turned around, the room was empty. He tried to sleep, but the mirror kept drawing his gaze. The man appeared again, closer. Darren covered the mirror with a blanket. At 3 a.m., he woke to find the blanket on the floor and the mirror fogged over. Written in the condensation, "Turn around." The next morning, he asked the clerk about the mirror. She went pale. "That room's been closed for years. A man died there. He smashed the mirror, but it came back." Darren left. But in every mirror he passed, gas station, diner, rest stop, the man was still behind him. Story 3. The Patient Who Knew Too Much. Krista had worked with dozens of youth in her time as a therapist, but one patient haunted her more than any other. His name was Eli. Nonverbal, withdrawn, and prone to drawing obsessively. His favorite subject, the forest behind the facility. One day, Eli handed her a map. It showed trails, symbols, and a red X. She dismissed it, until a groundskeeper found bones near the marked spot. Human bones. Eli kept drawing, each map more detailed. Dates appeared, names, coordinates. Cold cases began matching his drawings. Authorities were baffled. Then Eli drew something new. Krista's house. Her bedroom. A date. Next week. She confronted him. He looked her in the eyes for the first time and whispered, "You'll hear them in the walls." That night she did. Story 4. The Numbers Station. Jake, a retired Green Beret, lived off-grid in Montana. His only connection to the outside world was a shortwave radio. One night, he picked up a strange broadcast, a woman's voice reading numbers, then coordinates, then his sister's name, Krista. He checked the coordinates. They pointed to a sealed facility deep in the woods. He hiked there, armed and wary. The entrance was hidden beneath a rusted hatch. Inside, silence, dust, and a single room with monitors. The screen showed footage, grainy, black and white. Children playing, a girl learning to tie knots, a boy teaching her survival skills. It was them, from decades ago. Then the broadcast returned. They're watching. They never stopped. Jake smashed the radio. But every night since, the numbers return. And the coordinates keep changing, getting closer to Krista's home. Story 5. The House That Bled. Emily and Ryan were thrilled to buy their first home. It was quaint, quiet, and nestled in a sleepy suburb. But on their third night, something changed. At 3:17 a.m., blood seeped from the walls. Thin rivulets, dark and slow. They called plumbers, inspectors, even priests. No one could explain it. They tested the blood. It matched no one in the house. But the lab called back with a chilling detail. The DNA matched a fetus. A child not yet born. Emily wasn't pregnant. Or so she thought. The next week she missed her period. A test confirmed it. But the blood kept coming, more each night, and the walls began whispering the baby's name. They hadn't chosen one yet. Story 6. The Hole Behind the Bookshelf. Dr. Lane had just moved into her new office, a Victorian house converted into a therapy space. One day she noticed her bookshelf was slightly ajar. Behind it, a crawl space. Inside were dozens of journals, each one written in her handwriting. Each one describing therapy sessions she hadn't had yet. She read them. Names she didn't recognize. Trauma she hadn't heard. But the details were vivid. Too vivid. Then she found a journal labeled Final Session. It described a patient named Eli. It ended with her death. The date: next Thursday. She tried to burn the journals. They wouldn't catch. She moved the bookshelf back, but every morning it's ajar again, and the crawl space is deeper. Story 7. The Man in the Crawl Space. When Lena moved into the duplex, she was just looking for quiet. She'd left the city behind after a bad breakup and wanted peace. The place was old, but charming. Hardwood floors, a clawfoot tub, and a crawl space that ran beneath the entire house. The first night, she heard scratching. Not constant, just a few taps. Then silence. Then again. Tap, 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 she told her landlord. Raccoons, he said. They get under there sometimes. But Lena knew Morse code. Her dad had taught her when she was a kid. She listened closely the next night. The tap spelled HELP. She called the police. They searched the crawl space and found nothing. But the tapping continued. Then it changed. DONTTRUSTHIM. She confronted the landlord. He laughed. You're hearing things. That night she stayed up with a flashlight and a recorder. At 3:12 a.m., the floor vent creaked open. A hand reached through. Pale, dirty, human. She ran. The police came again. This time they found a man, emaciated, filthy, and chained to a pipe. He'd been missing for 6 years. The landlord had kept him there. The man looked at Lena and whispered, "He was going to make you next." Story 8. The Last Broadcast. Maya loved her midnight shift at the campus radio station. It was quiet, cozy, and gave her time to study between songs. The station barely reached beyond the dorms, but she liked the solitude. One night, the phone rang. No one ever called. She answered. Static. Then a voice. "You shouldn't have left her alone." Maya froze. The voice was distorted, but the words hit hard. When Maya was 12, her little sister drowned while Maya was supposed to be watching her. No one knew that, not even her therapist. She hung up. The next night, the phone rang again. "Tomorrow, 4:17 p.m., the girl in the red hoodie." Maya reported it. Campus security brushed it off. But the next day, a freshman in a red hoodie was hit by a car at 4:17 p.m. The calls kept coming. Names, times, details. All correct. Maya stopped sleeping. She begged the station manager to let her switch shifts. He refused. Then the voice said, "You, Friday, 12:03 a.m. She tried to quit. The manager said no. "You're just tired." Friday came. 12:02. She locked the door. 12:03. The lights went out. The phone rang. She didn't answer. The next morning they found the booth empty. the door still locked from the inside. The only thing left was the phone, off the hook, and a recording playing on loop. You shouldn't have left her alone.